how did you become part of Sky Power FM?
I was at a radio station in Takwa called Dynamite FM. In fact, it was a campus radio. Because it was a campus radio, all their broadcasts, the medium they were using as in language was English. And they wanted to communicate through the local language because the local folks were sending a lot of funeral announcements and those things. So they want somebody who can do it. So they engaged me and I was working with them. Then Sky Power 2 decided that they want to expand to Agwan Kwanta, then beyond, because they realized that they've captured Takoradi and they want to, go further in terms of coverage. So I learned that Wilson took a trip from Takoradi to Takwa just to see the commercial aspect of the town. So whilst there, he tuned into Dynamite FM, that's 88.9. Then he was enjoying me because I was on radio then. Then he said, this person, who is there? So he was asking, and wherever he passes, he realized that they were listening to me. So he just stopped whatever he was doing because he was coming to just assess the economic activity of the town and see if he can expand and, also take advantage of business of it on radio. So he came to the station, he said he wanted to see the presenter. They said that he's on air, so unless he finished. Then they tell me that somebody is waiting for me. So immediately I finished my program, I went out. Then he said, he started talking to me. He said, where do you come from? So we were talking. He asked my name, he said, you are Dzokoto. Yeah, this is an ever name. Why don't you speak Fanta? I said I schooled in Takwa Secondary School here, and I spent most of my time in Takoradi. Well, that's where my mother, my aunties, and my grandmother, and everybody is. And then he said whether I would love to move to Takoradi because he can see that I have covered the whole town and I need to expand my listenership base. So yeah, he managed to convince me. In fact, that day, because I was comfortable at where I am, as in Dynamite FM. And I must say, Willie was so sweet, but he managed to convince me that I should move. Mm-hmm. So I accepted, and then I said I will move. But then to Sky Power was more of like 80% English and 20% fancy, that's in local language. So he said that he would call me, but then it was the second week of the month. So the third week he said that, oh no, he's ready for me. So I should do away and come by close of the month and begin the next month. So we talked further. Then he invited me to Takoradi on his ticket. I went there, he took me around to the station, he took me to the town, convinced me. And in fact, I want to say there was somebody who is a negotiator who has simply defeated me. It was also because he was sounding so sweet. I decided to move. Then I came to Sky Power. Now that's left with where I'm supposed to play. So because they've arranged their program in such a way that everybody is popular, everybody has got high listenership base and all. So I think the man too doesn't want to lose me, as in Wilson. So he said that, because you just came, you need to play in the night. So they said I should play at 12 that day, as in 12 in the night.
12 midnight, night radio.
Yes, night radio. So when I was ready, I prepared myself. They said, unfortunately, they sold the time to a preacher. So unless 12:30. Hey, 12:30 I was going, they said that one too. So unless 1. So I decided, okay, I'll play at 1. So 1 o'clock, then I played. Then it was 3. I played to 3 o'clock. So then they said they want to change to Sky Christian Radio from that time. That is from 3 dawn. So for the whole week I was playing at 1 to 3. Then my name started coming up in the Sky Power. Their morning, there's a one in the morning they do a social program where so everybody can call in to Uncle Pierre's show, and people started Uncle Pierre. I've done. There's somebody playing there. We think that he can't stay that time. We are all asleep. We are enjoying him. They should bring him there. Then the thing started growing. Then hey, it also it was loud and the boss started getting interested. So the boss doesn't want to leave me. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. You call me whether I wake up because I won't sleep. I don't sleep early. I play one and close at 3 dawn and those things. So by 8 o'clock, you call me. When he immediately hears that, I pick his call. He say, "Come to the office." I'll come to the office. You take me out to go and have lunch. And so I was like, the man took me as a somebody and his son, and in fact, he started developing me. He was the one who made me understand what is radio. Why am I doing radio? Who am I speaking to? It's like, and when he took a risk by taking one of his top stars in the morning. That's in one of them that they have ringed and put me there. So he wanted me to succeed because when I feel like the disgrace will come upon him, as his workers, and the agitation that will come. So every day he will call me when I'm going on. He will call me today. What are you going to say about? What are you going to say about? Okay, I will say this. I will say that. Okay, what about your joke? Let me listen to your joke. Hey. So it means that every day I should do a new joke. This man, what sort of work is this? So the man, how he treated me, I didn't really enjoy my program listening to myself the next day. I don't know whether you understand what I'm trying to say. It's just like he want to tell me that the person who listens to you today, give him new thing tomorrow. So I don't record myself. So I don't have any recording of myself because he said that today, what have you got to say? Mm-hmm. So it means that everything must be new. So immediately I close from work, I go to the net, I go here, I listen to news, I read graphic to Pampine because I'll get something funny from the graphic or current issue and relate it to what I'm going to sell as in my LPM and those things. So Wilson developed me, and when Wilson is coming from town and I'm on air, he would just open the door and say, "Check it." When he say "check it," it means that the whole time everybody is listening to me. He said, "Dzokoto, everybody is listening to you." Then my head will be like, there's a bomb in it. It will burst off because your director, owner of the station, say that everybody is listening to you. So he put that thing in me that today, when I switch on the microphone, my mind is everybody is listening to me. So I should put on my best. I say I'm grateful to Wilson, and I'll forever be grateful to him. I thank God too for giving me that opportunity of serving under the man. I wish that every radio presenter will work under him because it's just like you will, if you are ready to learn and respect the system and follow advice and rules, in fact, it will take you to places. So me, I'm not surprised when I see presenters who have passed through Wilson's, Wilson's training regime, and they are hitting in Accra. When I go to Asempa, I can see Obi there. When I go to Joy FM, I can see One Dazi, the newscaster. So a lot of them, when I go to the general manager of what is his name, Asasi Radio, that's Cyrus Degar Johnson. When one of their content manager, Nano Tujando, they pass through Wilson's tutelage. So I know their work. I know they can change the system at any time because Wilson will work with you as if you are a soldier. He expects that when I wake you from work and I switch the microphone, give me the best. So you are forever ready for the work and those things. And I am very, very much grateful. I think that it was a nice family joining Sky Power.
You know, this is sweet. Just the way you spoke in Kwame Dzokoto. You know, it's really, I mean, boy, you brought a lot of memories to my mind. You know, because, oh boy, gone are those years, isn't it? You know, your impact was electric.
Yeah.
It was thunderous. You know, you came from nowhere. And as you said, Wilson transformed you. Now, just backtracking a little bit, tell me what your impressions were when you first arrived at Sky Power FM. Oh, by the way, which year was that? Which year did you join Sky?
I can't recollect it, but it is either 97 thereabout. But I'm not good at dates, but I can. It's simple.
I will help you. I'll help you. Did you come to 37 Windy Ridge?
Yes, that was the closing end bit. That is why I started.
Okay, so when you started there, did it take you long before we went to?
No. It was a month.
Months. Okay, very good.
Months.
So yes. I will surmise that you joined about late 2001 to early 2002 because we did move to 1920 West Fiji in 2002.
You are right.
Yeah.
You are right.
The advantage I have is because I've been talking to so many different colleagues of ours. It helps me to kind of piece the timeline together. And you know what, Dzokoto, can I just say to you, it's almost a shame, and I don't mean this negatively. It's almost a shame that your personal journey that has been so significant in the Ghanaian media industry, in the comedy industry, etc., in the broadcast industry, you as a person couldn't just immediately say, yeah, my biggest move was to Sky Power FM in this month, in this year. It's almost as if you don't think about it. You don't really consider it. And it is one of the things that demonstrate the fact that we need to be able to document these developments because in many ways it was historic in many ways, very transformative. You know, so given all we've said, we can kind of place the time within months before we moved to 1920 West Fiji in 2002 is when we joined Sky. So tell me, the night radio you played from 1 to 3 a.m. every day, what exactly were you doing? Because I personally never listened to you between 1 and 3. But of course, as you said, there were people who were listening and started complaining to Uncle Pia that you should be brought to day radio.
It was like my style of gospel with a couple of motivation about how you didn't make it as in yesterday. It's a brand new day, and why are you carrying what happened along yesterday today? Why you are making your load very heavy? Drop some. So it's motivational. Then we'll go to jokes. Then we'll go to some tidbit of news and weird stories, strange but true stories. You see, actually, the night was like somebody's relaxed and listening to music. That was it. So we should be less talk. But then people also develop interest in terms of those who are selling around the Princess area, Takrade, Prempeh area. You know, there were people who ran the night market and those things. They were also enjoying the talking of it. So,
of course, and there was a sizable population in secondary Takrade that didn't sleep. It was close to a 24-hour city.
Oh yes. So that was it. In fact, because when I moved, I think they later gave it to Sindog or something like that because they also wanted to institutionalize it, but unfortunately, maybe in terms of what the value was not the same and those things. So then
Yeah.
that was.
So and Dzokoto, there's something you said that I thought was interesting. The credit you've given to Wilson Arthur. Now, Wilson Arthur is quite a figure in the history of Sekondi Takoradi. The guy has talent. I would describe him in many ways as a genius. And it doesn't mean he's a person without fault, but the way I define it is that a genius is someone whom you can spend time with and not realize. It's only over a course of time. Maybe when you look back, then you realize what a significant figure that person was. And Wilson has that character. I hope that in the course of time, it is recognized more and more. And I'm glad because I've worked with him closely, just like you. There is something about him. He has a certain spark that is pretty interesting and superb. However, the point that I wanted to make is that no matter how good he was, he couldn't just pick anyone and transform that person. The person himself, such as you, has to have something. You also have to have a certain spark in you. So tell me, summarize your background for me to get a sense of who you really were, your journey in life before Wilson met you.
I went to Takwa Secondary School 1986 and finished the O-level 1991. Yes, that is it. And then also, because I wanted our family, we were actually, they were seamen, where my family, in terms of my mother's family, and they were seamen, but most of them, because they went into that profession through, let's say, their hard work, as in through the ranks. So they know how, maybe when you are a big man in that profession, how it works. So their aim was to nurture me to become maybe let's say a captain of a ship or something like that. Then they said that I should change my course I'm doing. Then maybe what I'm going to do is I come and work in the ship as a big man, so not like how they went through the ranks from the lower ranks. So from there, I went to Campus Polytechnic and I did the mechanical engineering because the idea was from there, I maybe because I should do subjects that relate to marine subjects. So then I went a bit, some things at the Nautical College, where we call the Maritime University today. So that was it. But, because naturally that was not it. So one of the vacations, I came home and I said I won't go again. And then my mom was up and down with me. Then so I was with my mom at the shop. But the truth is, when I was young, mostly when it comes to secondary, on Tuesday, like our family house, on Tuesdays, most of them are fishermen, as I told you. And then those who get other exploits and enter through the harbor, they also work with international ships and those things. So on Tuesdays, they don't go anywhere. They play draft and those things. So I'll be sitting there watching draft, and that is where they speak their jargons in terms of terms. We call it terms. So when they speak and you are not part of us, you need to understand because most of them are jargons, and so that is where I learned those things. They will be insulting each other. They will be laughing and the jokes.
That is the unique fancy expressions.
That is it.
Like
that is it.
Friday night. That is where I learned something like Friday night the Wanje.
Wanje. And like something like, hey, you do what you can say.
You can say
when we say
you best leggings in alcohol. What's it? Sky or she leggings? You know.
No, she leggings. You see those things. You see those things. So you see, so these were the words I was using on radio. Also realized that I'm speaking the language Takrade want to hear. When he met me, he get when he met me on when I was Dynamite FM. So that was the trick that Wilson said. This is the language Takrade want to hear, and he picked me from there. So as I was saying, that is what I was staying with my uncles and with them while youthful stages. So I came to. So I was like, when I'm speaking, and I have knowledge about the seamen, what they do, and it is all because when they come and they tell their story, I'm always around and I know of it.
You were absorbing it. You were absorbing those stories.
That is it.
So did you say you had a family home in Sekondi?
Yes, it is called Abiase. Around the Wesley Abiase. That is under the palm fruit tree.
Yes.
Abiase.
So
yes, around the Wesley Church.
That means even though you were born in Takrade, you became part of Sekondi Takrade and the culture and the language and the spirit.
That is it. So when I came, I was with my mom. She was running a stationery in Takwa during one of the vacations. There was an event. It was a wedding event. The MC was late. Mm-hmm. But my friends, like the friends I walk around with, or my old mate knows how I do my tidbits of jokes and those things. So, but then too, the Dynamite FM want to get local folks who run the station when they are on vacation. So the manager then is called Raf Mens of Art Focus. Raf Mens saw that I'm MC there and said that, but you, have you been a radio presenter before? I said, no. Do you want to work on radio? Then they started recruiting people to come and handle their funeral announcements and local this thing. So I said that when you teach me, I can learn through it. So he said that okay, then come 5:00. So I went there because it's a campus radio. They don't have like let's say second studio anything of that sort. So I went to the studio. Then they gave me a funeral announcement. I was doing it live. Mm-hmm. And what happened was, the funeral announcement, I started it. Then when I started the funeral announcement, I was shouting. I said, hey, Tifu, the police super by me up. Baby, no, here no so. Ojono catch them momonzo. Never say, why am I paying me where we are our friendly day? So as I was shouting, the rap was saying, "Pull down," because if you announcement, it's supposed to be solemn something. You get it? So and then I was shouting.
Yeah.
So he said, "Come down," and I was adding humor, which is not a serious thing. People are laughing. You see somebody's crying. You see. So Ralph was I did it. Then Ralph said that tomorrow 10:00 I should come. You won't go to lectures. You want to meet me. So we were there 10:00. Then we saw a certain man. We have with his cloth all over black coming down. He reached the studio. He said, "Yeah." He asked us yesterday who did the funeral announcement. Hey, then we thought it was a problem. So everybody was shying away. I said, who did it? So Ralph had it inside and came and said that, okay, what is the problem? Then he said that yesterday the funeral announcement, who did it? He said, oh, it is we. It is this man who did it. He said, which one? Then he pointed at me.
Yeah.
Then he said that, he said that, young man, let me tell you one thing. I brought you this thing. He opened his cloth. No, he has bread under his cloth. Then he gave me the bread, the full loaf of bread. He said, hey, you are the person who wants to do the announcement. The way you did it, it was best. That is what we want. Hey, yeah, where do you come from? Where do you come all because when they were with the past 3 days, they were doing it English. It is not getting impact. But this one, they were there. So when they asked for now, some radio, you heard your view on the FM. So Ralph also, so Ralph had interest in me and realized that when he polished me, I can come up. But I think that my secret is I like learning. I respect those who are ahead of me. I don't engage in unnecessary problems. I like forgiving. These are some of the small traits. I think it has worked for me because if, like, for example, maybe I work with Wilson, maybe he will go and maybe this is just by the by. Maybe Wilson will go and charge 1,000 cities, and I would be doing all the work, and Wilson will give me, let's say, 40. So I need to fight for Wilson. Then I said, but I'm working everything. Why are you taking 40? And I'm taking 40. But you see, it is because I was focused in learning the thing. Mm-hmm. I think that now I'm managing my own self, and that is it. And for Wilson, people think that I said I pay everything to Wilson because he did advertising and marketing as well.
Yes.
So he also give me the direction about how to advertise. Mm-hmm. He realized that I have the humor, but I'm raw. I have the humor, I have the skill, I have everything, but I'm raw in terms of selling a product. So, like, let's say, for example, you would take a mattress. Then also will tell you, Kwame, you are going to advertise on this mattress. You should tell them that if you don't wake up early, you can spoil your day. Why do you have to sleep well?
Yes.
You see, so he gave me those antics, and every product also has got his answers towards it. So I learned the science of it, and it is helping me. It helped me, and it has helped me. So today, when I'm even sleeping and you wake me up to go and advertise, take this. I'll let you say, go and advertise. I can say it as if you've given me 2 months to work on it as a project. So these are some of the things that I think it's interesting. It's interesting.
Do you know, I thought the things in this interaction, I thought the things you said in the first 17 minutes was interesting, but in the last 10 minutes, it's more interesting. And can I confess at some point that I was finding it very difficult keeping it together as you were telling me about the funeral announcement. I mean, who on earth would be reading out a funeral announcement, an obituary, and find a way to make it humorous? Only a totally crazy person like you would do it, and people will appreciate it. And a family member, the bereaved family member will come to the radio station to express appreciation to you with a loaf of bread. Interesting. Look, my personal observation of you was that you're right. Willie would have discovered you as an incredibly raw talent. It's like you don't need a lot of preparation to make impact. You are very smart. Your brain works very quickly, and you are able to quickly turn situations around regardless of what it is. And an example is what you were saying that, look, so Wilson goes, charges 1,000 Ghana cedis for something, gives you 40 Ghana cedis. Somebody else would feel peeved and angry or disappointed and hold a grudge and so on and so forth. But you find a way to get to him to say, but boss, why would you do this? Why, make it seem funny. I think in some ways it's a form of diplomatic skill where you are able to diffuse situations, and it's a beautiful skill you have. And it's also very nice that you found a way after learning at Sky, learning from Wilson Arthur, to be able to take ownership of it. And as you said, now you are able to use that for your own personal benefit in business. I was trying to ask earlier your first impressions when you got to Sky as this first private radio station, commercial private radio station in the Western region with 80% English. And it was probably questionable how you were going to fit in. Tell me your impressions.
Currently in Ghana, every footballer wants to go professional, want to go and play professional football outside. So in the region, every radio presenter is aspiring to work with Sky Power FM. Because it's like, Wilson is a marketer, is a marketing person, and he has branded the station to the standard. When you are outside, it's like we are the standard. So that was the impression I had. And then when I went there, I said to myself that I can make it, because I assessed it and realized that who is doing what is not the norm of the people, and it's popular. So I went to town. And I did some small surveys in where people have gathered, but I find a nice way of doing it. And I realized that, it's making it truly. So I asked, why do you like Sky? What is at Sky that makes you happy? And why do you like Sky? So it was one, there's either the same answer for the two or one of the answer. So I realized that, is that so? And the answer was, it's their sports. Or it's their sports, or how they present their sports, and the presenter, which is Kuntu Blanco.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized that, okay. So I started paying attention to that gentleman and how he go about his things. So I realized that it is how the person is serving the information. They grasp it, and it is the language they want to hear. So I said that I want to speak the language of my people. That is all. So that was it, because first of all, I just realized that they say this is the standard. Sky Power is a standard. So when I say the standard, it's like even the other workers from other companies, as in radio station, they say that, hey, Sky workers, their salary is even this. Don't you see how Sky people, when they are going out, they dress? Don't you Sky always their car, they branded it? You see those things. So everything. So I realized that if I manage to work harder and institutionalize my style, it will even become one of the standards they will be talking about. So that helped me. But I think that I took an inspiration from Kundu Lanson that, if he has made it, I must make it. That was it, because I conversed with him, and I realized that he's also raw, and because myself, I can tell you about what was in the newspapers yesterday, but he doesn't even know. So I realized that. I can make it too. That was it.
Dzokoto, do you know how funny? Do you know how funny what he just said is? You are describing a person and saying, you can tell what's in the newspaper yesterday, but he can't. Do you know why it is funny? Because right now, I can't tell whether you are praising the guy or insulting him.
Oh, Filippo.
Oh, man. But you see, again, this is what makes you smart. You come down to the fundamentals. You always do.
Yeah.
And I know Kuntu Blankson, what you're saying about him. He fits so into Sekendi Takrade. He is loved.
Yeah.
And Kuntu Blankson is not about needing to know the best information in the world. No, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
It is that he's able to connect with the people. Yeah. And he is simple, down to earth. Yeah. He is raw and he acknowledges it. Your style.
I am happy. It's like you've experienced what went through. So it's like I'm not lying. It's like we are in tandem, as in same wavelength, as in, because you know what really went on and what the story is.
Well, we lived it together, you know. And in a way, if you consider this as an interview, it's an interesting one because I'm asking you questions about things that I know about. We lived in the same environment, served, worked in the same, laugh together, ate together, and you were brutal when you teased someone. Oh my goodness, Dzokoto, I can remember when I'm coming to read the news and you're in the studio. I go like, oh no, please get him out of the studio. You were a terrorist. I mean, I remember, even if before the news is read, the way you will promote the news. And I think sometimes you come to the newsroom to find out who will be who will be reading the news, and you promoted it accordingly. I mean, that was just it's a master stroke. You see, you thought beyond just the program you were presenting, and which is a mindset of Wilson. You thought about who came before you, who is coming on the program while you're on as a newsreader, and then after that. So it created this cohesion, this harmony, and while you continue to insert your humor and your personality, and it's very, to be fair, there were many times I was annoyed with you because, here I am with the news. You want to be able to be very serious-minded and, no compromises. But you were free spirit. You were such a free spirit. You will come through like a tornado, cause all sorts of confusions, and you are gone happy.
Charlie.
So tell me.
You see, that was the thing I was telling you about. Wilson will force me to come early. Like, for example, I will work at, let's say, 10 to 12, so that after that, the midday news. So, Wilson, about 7, 8 o'clock, Wilson, where are you? You see, like, he wants you to come early. And sometimes maybe I will work from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Then by 10, 8, 9, 10, Wilson. So you see that, what at all are you coming to do? No knowing, you want to engage me, asking, when you are there, you can't say that you are sitting there redundant. You get tired. So I always find something doing. Like when you are saying, I'll come to the newsroom and do this and do this. So it's like, I think I told you that I was learning the science of it. It helped me. Because I'm always on time. I'm not late rushing to do my program. So I relax and, it is.
And I like the point you made as well. And to me, that is also another master stroke where you went to town, to the city, talking to ordinary people, and then getting a sense of what made Sky tick, and then how you can make that work for you. And you used the phrase that you were going to institutionalize your style. Man, that is amazing. That is amazing for to even think about it that way. But you made it. You did it.
What happened was,
yeah,
you see, I was always shouting. And then
have a powerful
I asked
voice.
myself,
Yeah.
no, yes, no, nobody is shouting on the radio. Everybody, you see, the sky standard. So that was the style I was talking about, the shouting aspect. So I asked myself, but why am I shouting? Why am I the only one shouting? So I realized that. Then I said to myself, but after all, when two people are fighting and you want to go and separate them, and one is shouting, when you want to separate them, you stop the person who is shouting.
You concentrate on the one who's loudest.
That is it. So let me come and brand for myself. That I want the guy who is shouting on radio. So that was it.
And you see, for you, I think one thing you should appreciate is that you were not just shouting. I think anyone who tries to copy your style will get it wrong. It won't work for them. They will be annoying. You would have shouted on radio, but it had meaning. It had quality in it. It had purpose. And you were delivering consistently. You know, and when Dzokoto is on air, when you are on air, people just want to listen because it's almost like every single time you open your mouth is something. I remember times when you pretended you were crying about something. It might be a news item, a development, and you sounded so genuine, you know, and it's almost like being with a friend. Look, if you have a friend who is funny, when you spend time with someone who makes you laugh, you would always love that person. And then you were that kind of person, and you did it so beautifully, you know. Maybe I'll just have us talk very briefly about Sky as an environment itself. Now, what I've noticed, whenever I talk to our colleagues, everyone seems to describe Sky as a family environment, a close-knit family. Was that your experience?
Yes, it is. And everyone will be talking about that because Wilson himself, being the owner, will treat you as if you are with the family. And when you have problem, come and tell me, your dad. See, so it is like the system itself will force you to, you know, and he wants you to work by your own understanding, how you understand the work. So if you can't see that, this is not how we work at Sky. Also, we just simply, you on you. And you ask yourself,
that this person doesn't understand the work we do or what we put out.
Yes. Nobody has seen it like you say doesn't understand. The work is done too. You see this? It's like there are some people when they are working, they want to get all the resources before they start working.
Yes.
But I also will tell you, start something. So
I was speaking to one of my colleagues off record, and what this colleague said is that, you know, when you are inexperienced, it's very easy to misunderstand Wilson because the guy was had organized a startup, something called a startup. You know, we didn't necessarily have everything, and he was always looking at a very big picture. But individually, we could be just seeing the little bits of things, you know, and why don't I have a cup of water in the kitchen? And yesterday we didn't have a cup of tea, and, you know. But why should Wilson let that be a burden when he's looking at a much, much bigger picture? So what the insight this person told me or gave me was that now that this person is in business himself or herself, they can see the challenges that confront you. The reality is that you would not always come across as a person that is necessarily doing everything well by everybody, you know, and it's a natural thing. You know, and I think you, because of the way you were introduced to Sky, you probably had the chance to get to know Wilson very, very closely. He He gave you hope. You were aspirational yourself, and therefore your experience was such that it was more designed, as it were, to understand the environment better. What did you learn of the other parts of Sky? For example, I would think of a program like a News Review, where most of the players were not Sky Power FM employees. They were panelists who came from outside regularly and made impact. How would you describe programs of that sort, and perhaps the programs in general from Sky, the product that was being put out constantly?
When you are working with one medium for a very long time, if you don't take time, it will weaken all your other aspects that you can use as well. For example, you see, I have been working as a Fanti presenter for a very long time, 20 years. So everybody knows that I am a Fanti. You get what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. Then, so in fact, it really affected my English. Mm-hmm. You get it? So I decided that I will, whenever I see someone like Philip, because Philip, when you speak English and you are wrong, Philip will find a way and tell you. So every time when I see Philip, I want to speak English with Philip. Then I said that every time Philip is on air, I will listen to Philip, because Philip, the sort of words he uses when he's on air, in terms of, because you realize that when he's on radio, you don't have to use big English for the person to go and find the meaning then before you come and understand you. So average words. So in a way of, and English is when you want to have controls about day-to-day speaking and those things. So I said I will listen to Philip. So it was my part. It was part of me that I should listen to your program every day and whenever you are. And when I see you, one day, you won't even remember. I said something. We were arguing. Then I said something. As for you guys in this inky fraternity, they said, "Hey, you're speaking the correct English, you." You see, then I said to her, "Hey, I'm going to feed my body power." You see, because it's just that what I said, it was not a normal English. You see that thing?
But do you know what? I actually remember. I didn't feel you were the sort of person who could have used that phrase. Because
fantastic.
Look, manso na me nyim de wan so abon kakra, but I've been so I've been and abon so you know. And obia so nyim de awala bele.
So but you see, it's like, so it was a place I was learning. And the learning was too much for me. But then, like, I'm happy when it started. There was some small hatred and those things, because the people were they have to remove somebody for you to get a place and those things. And friends among friends were gathering to shun you and those things. You see, gradually the system came to understand that. I think. He's on point, he's on course. Let's help him out. So all of them trying to give me hand, trying to, tell me how they do it and how. But as for you, the newsroom was different, because I'm there every morning. I'm coming to read my newspapers and those things. You see, so it's
unlike Kuntu Black said.
It was. So I see Sky as a huge learning curve for me, and I think, as said, Wilson, wherever he is, and the new endeavors, they should give me opportunity. I'm looking at a time maybe they will give him to rule the region and see how he will turn things around, because I know what he can do. It's just he loved achieving. And he loved making it happen. So it's something. Me, he was, it's either conscious or unconscious on his part, but it was like he combined psychological way of, handling me and so many things. But, my mind was not even about, like, hey, this man, is he lying to me or is he saying the truth? You see, I take everything of him as a gospel.
Yeah.
I think that,
and also you were there when the TV started and you became part of the TV production as well. I saw you, and this is why I see you as having multiple talents as well, because when the TV took off, you just fitted in. And when it comes to acting, it's like you, I would say if someone sent you to a school to learn acting, they'll be wasting their time. Because it's like it pulsates in your blood. It's in your blood.
That's it. There, pulsate there.
Masana can brofu bi ewe.
No answer my.
Yeah. So you were just such an all-rounder. You had such energy around you. No wonder you went completely and totally national. And can I say to you, obviously, we are speaking today. What's today's date? Is today the 20th of April? 20th of April, 2021. This conversation, obviously, I will edit it. This conversation will not be heard until at least October 2022 or shortly after. So can I just put it in context then and say I came to Ghana in 2017, and then we're just, my wife and I and kids were driving somewhere, and there was this massive billboard, and there was Kwame Dzokoto on it, with an advert, and I'm looking at you on at the signboard, and I was kind of trying to find a way to tell my family that I knew you, I worked with you, but all these memories just kept going through my head. And in the end, I didn't say anything. I just thought.
You're trying to remind so many things, laughing.
All the melism, and I'm thinking, where do I even start? And it was it was a huge traffic, so you were in a car for a long time, and I'm watching this big, massive billboard with your handsome face on it, and then I just thought, what? No need to talk. Just keep it. No need to start it. It will be like a completely. And it was an example to show that you went totally national. Ghana as a nation embraced your talent. And can I just say something else? Well, I think I was somewhere where a group of people who were talking about the needing to advertise or something like that, and someone said Dzokoto can do it. They were making reference to you, and what somebody else said? They said, well, there's no way you can pay Dzokoto because of how much he charges. And then the other person said, well, that's because he can deliver what nobody else can deliver. They didn't know I knew you, but I heard it and I thought, wow, it's interesting to see the change from what you were, how you grew, and showed your talent and going completely national. With all that said, can I ask you what you think the impact of Sky has been in Sekende Takoradi on Western and Central regions, and even in Ghana?
It's huge in terms of the Western region because it gets to a point, Sky Power was the medium that was using to drive the entire region, especially when the oil was coming. So there was a program like the Millionaire's Mind, how we were shipping people to, see that millionaires are not created from heaven. You can start from somewhere and get where, and all those things, you see. And then, started, organizing colloquium for people and all sort of awarding people who has done a lot for the region and all. So I think it was great. It was great. But you see, it was a one-man action. And, when it comes to that point, a lot of, we call him PhD, pull him down, and a little jealousy and those things. So, yeah, they didn't, like that person will, get life for somebody to, take credit for all. But I think that Sky has done a lot for the region. That is the reason why I was saying that I want a day that gentleman was matter will be head of that region politically and see how he will drive the region. Because I must say, for example, he did a lot. Even when the oil came, he realized that the youth, what are they doing? There are a lot of them, they want to go into music. So he set up a recording studio. He was recording people, just the youth who are ready to enter into this thing. It was great idea. He did a lot. He tried. He realized that Sekindita Krade was a place that's live band because of CK Man and A.B. Krentel and then Papa Jansen and the other guys, Ambuli. They were the live wires of the high life and those things. So he tried bringing live band back because he realized those days there was something like carousel and those things that were. So he was trying to do something for the region to be the region we knew, because those times when the ship comes and those things, it is the places they go arrest and those things, they are the live band jointed. Also try bringing those things all back. I'll say that Ghana has gained a lot from Sky Power in terms of those presenters that he has trained. I can mention a lot. I can Kudu Frempong, Lawyer Mande,
Mama V, Atu Kwame Nadazi,
Mama V, Atu Kwame Nadazi. Yes. Oh, a lot. Oh, this guy at Radio TV, what's his name? Erica Hianyo. And then, a lot. And you see, Wilson, despite everything, when the thing you are doing is catching fire and everybody wants it and it is wrong, Wilson will let you stop. So these presenters I'm talking about and those things, you try and see how they behave, how they carry themselves, how they go about their duty. You see vast difference from other, because he will try and inculcate the ethics in you without even you thinking about it. I always say that if every radio station has the same manager as well, so the system will work in such a way as if, by the radio presenters, how did they go about it that they are law-abiding and those things. But now, if you come to account, for example, the capital itself, you realize that people are doing a lot of things which are lawful, which are ethically against even their own profession. They are doing as a journalist, and because it is catching fire and giving them the numbers and listenership and eyeballs, they are accepting it. That wasn't, you will not accept it. So nationally, I think Sky has done a lot for the state.
There was a little point I wanted to make earlier. Twice in this interaction, you have said you hope Wilson will get a chance to run Western Region, and it's interesting that you could say so, because politically, you and him are in completely different. You have completely different perspectives. The big things in Ghana is MPP and NDC. You are NDC, he's MPP. Yeah. But somehow, to you, given how you know him, it doesn't matter to you. You still think he is good enough to run Western Region when the opportunity, or if the opportunity ever came for him. And it is nice to see you haven't allowed your political difference to, become something that stops you from saying something like that. And then to finally say that I consider it a privilege to work with you. I keep telling my colleagues here that, sure, I have said that I want to write the book, The History of Sky, and I can't do it without you. But really, it's not a promise. I'm not promising that I will, but I'm promising that I'll try. I have to, as a tribute to all of us, to Sekenita Credit, to all the amazing people that have passed through Sky, to people like you. It's wonderful to have to work with you and to become lifelong friends.
Thank you. It was the moment, and then we cherish it. It's like when it gets to a point, then it was about comparing individual brilliant skill and those things to other stations. And I mean, when it comes to I'll tell you that your whole station, nobody can speak better English like Phillip Nyakpo. I'm proud of it. Yes, if you think to can come and let us speak English. So, I think that it was a wonderful opportunity working with you before.